Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiskey Central. If you're new here, my name is Shayla, and today we're reviewing Ironroot Harbinger XC. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I love it. Don't mess with Texas. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited about this freaking whiskey. Was in Aquavitae's chat yesterday, because today's Friday. Robert Licorice was in the chat, and I was like, are you the real Robert Licorice? And he was like, yeah, I'm as real as I can be. And I'm like, what's happening right now? Like, I didn't even know that he was in the chat. Like, I just saw his name, and I only knew his name because I was researching this whiskey. But I love this whiskey, and I was like, oh my god, like, you're famous. You're a famous person. This is so cool. So, Robert Licorice, you're probably not watching this, but if you are, I'm sorry, I'm such a weirdo. You're doing wonderful things, and it's like, as soon as I meet somebody from the industry, I'm just like, boom, sold, done, best friends. So, he doesn't know who I am, but he's seen my screen name at least, because I said, are you the real Robert Licorice? And he responded, which means he typed in Whiskey Central, which is pretty cool, just saying, so, no big deal. So I've got a little bit of history for you today, but if you want to skip around to other parts of the video, there's timestamps in the description box below. And if you enjoy whiskey reviews, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new videos. Ironroot is a family-owned distillery out of Denison, Texas, and it's run by two brothers, Jonathan and Robert Licorice, and it's managed by their mom. They started the process in 2011 and eventually opened in 2014. The name Ironroot is an homage to the viticulturist T.V Munson, whose Texas Ironroot grapes linked Denison, Texas to Cognac, France. Munson's recommendation for which rootstocks to use helped save the French wine industry from the Phylloxera outbreak of the 1850s. If you guys are interested, I put a little bit more information about kind of Phylloxera and how it happened, and a little bit more about Munson and the French viticulturist Viala. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But in the description box below, put a little bit more information about. I watched like a 50-minute video and condensed it down to just a couple of paragraphs. So if you guys are interested, it's in the description box below. Alright, so let's get into the details of this whiskey. This bottle will run you about $35. It's owned by the Licorice brothers, and it's made in Denison, Texas. It's aged for 31 months, it's 45% ABV, and they have an undisclosed mash bill, but it was a bunch of different kinds of corn. There's some rye in there, and it didn't say anything about malted barley, but I'm assuming there's at least a little bit in there to help with fermentation. It's aged in new charred oak barrels, and it's non-colored and non-chill filtered, which is pretty impressive. This is a 90 proof whiskey, so in, all normal industry standards, they should be chill filtering this, but they respect the consumer enough to not do anything with this. They're not putting coloring in it, and they're not chill filtering it, so love it already. I'm going to pour a dram of this, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and I'll be right back. Alright, I've let this open up for about 10 minutes. Let's go on the nose. Okay, so this is not a helpful note, but Texas funk. There's a little bit of Texas funk. If you've had a Texas whiskey and you've experienced that, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, go get some of this and we can do it together. So you get a little bit of that vanilla, caramel. I'm not sure how much rye is in the mash bill. It's undisclosed, but I get a little bit of rye spice on here. And then I get some citrus notes, and this is going to sound so weird. I haven't even looked up any other tasting notes for this, so I don't know if other people get this, but I get a little bit of barbecue sauce, and I don't know if that's just because I'm thinking about Texas and it's just implanted in my brain, but it's kind of underneath all of that other stuff. There's just this sweet, like, little bit smoky kind of barbecue sauce. Alright, let's go on the palate. Cheers. A little bit of that vanilla. Sensation-wise, it's very sweet. There's a little tiny bit of dry oak in the back, but it's really nice. Little bit of rye spice. It's really simple. Like, there's just a few notes, but they're kind of powerful and they're just delicious. So let's go for another sip. Cheers. Yeah, there's this creaminess, like this vanilla creaminess on the palate, like so much vanilla cream, it's ridiculous. A little bit of that funk, a little bit of that rye spice. It's a pretty short finish, but I don't care because it tastes so freaking good. So I'm going to finish this dram up and I'll be right back with my recommendation. So for $35, okay, at first, I'm going to be honest. At first, like, up to the shoulder, a little past the shoulder, even maybe like the first quarter of this bottle, I did not like it, like, at all. It was kind of bitter. It just wasn't my jam. But once it opens up, oh my goodness, it's so good. It's very simple. You're not gonna sit with this thing for an hour and pick it apart. But it's got a few kind of bold hooks that they just taste good. Like, you could just drink this any freaking summer day if it had a little bit more proof over ice, and you'd just love it. It's just tasty as heck. And it's $35. Like, you can't get much better in Texas for $35 than this. I think this is a great intro to Texas whiskey. I've only had a few samples of other Texas whiskey, so kind of hard to make a recommendation. Of course, you could try something like Balcones or Garrison Brothers, but if you want to kind of stick with Ironroot, they have this expression, but at 115 proof. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Whiskey Central. Next week, I'll be reviewing something. I'm actually not sure. This is the last video that I'm filming before I go to my mom's. I'll be gone for 3 weeks to a month, and then when I come back, we'll see what the patrons want. I haven't done any Patreon, hey, what do you want me to review? Because I was just trying to churn these videos out real quick. But yeah, as soon as I get back, maybe we'll do a little Lagavulin 16, or we'll do a little Blanton's breakdown or something. I don't know. We'll let the patrons decide. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, leave it a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. I just want to say cheers to my wonderful patrons. I'm so glad that I got this bottle. You guys helped me get this bottle, so I love y'all. I'm giving a couple of samples away of this to a couple of my patrons, so I'm really excited. I hope they like it as much as I do. But yeah, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and you're rock stars. So, cheers. Alright. Okay, not ready for this. Not ready for this. Let's reel her back in. Saved the... Okay. Ugh. Oh my god. I'm out of dinner. Oh my god. Okay. Got a hair. What the... Oh my god. Piece of corn. God dang it. Oh my god. My hair is just... Ugh. The fuck? Boom, motherfucker. Yeah. This is so good. Shout out to Robert Licorice for doing his thing, like a chicken wing. It's very simple, but it's very delicious. Which normally I don't say. Usually I say, this is simple and boring AF. But this is not the case. It's yummy. I dig it. And if somebody has a note for Texas Funk, please put it down in the description box below, because Texas Funk is not a good descriptor. Like Wild Turkey Funk, you say wet cardboard or something. Or like kind of a dunnage warehouse. I don't know. It kind of, you know what I'm talking about when I say that. But this I don't know how to explain. It's a little different. It's like, it doesn't smell hot, like in the terms of alcohol, but it's like, kind of reminds you of Texas, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's just good. I mean, there's not a ton going on. Do not get me wrong. This is 90 proof. But it's yummy. I dig it. I usually let it sit for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna let it sit for 10 minutes before I do like the actual review. But I'm like, I just want a little bit of this right now. Can we just do this? Cause this shit is so good. Oh, I love it. It tastes so good. Yeah, I need to let it open up. Man. Give this thing 10 minutes though, guys. It will rock your world. I mean, I know each batch is probably different. This is the 2019 C edition. It's aged for 31 months. You guys already know this if you've watched the video. It's only 90 proof. But man, once this thing gets past the shoulder, it was somewhere right here. And I was just like, yes, so good. For the price too, what is this? What is this, like 35 bucks? It's $35, guys. Texas whiskey for $35. I haven't had many Texas whiskeys, to be fair, but I'm very glad that I bought this. I know the 115 is probably so much better than this, but it's like, if you could taste like a little bit of orange, a little bit of vanilla, and just Texas. That's what this smells like. This is gonna be a really long blooper reel. Just vanilla caramel Texas. Yes. Okay, guys. I'm way too amped up. Second review of the day. This is what's happening. We're off the rails, guys, already. It was off the rails before I started the first video, but it's fine.